Good afternoon from Israel. This is Jerusalem Jane choosing to make a recorded video because if I went live, I knew that I can feel I would start crying. All of Israel is mourning as this family, mom, dad, and 2 children, was in the cable car accident in Italy that occurred on Sunday. 14 people were killed and 1 person survived. This young boy down here survived. An Israeli family living in Italy, mom and dad and 3 children, were having a visit from one of the grandparents. They were actually fleeing out of Israel because of all the rocket coming from Gaza, so they chose to travel to Italy and to visit their daughter and their grandson and their 2 children. And they went and they took this cable car that unfortunately fell, and only the 5-year-old son survived. All of Israel is completely devastated, and I want to show you something, because now 5 caskets is on the way to Israel. Grandparents, mom and dad, and a 2-year-old son is on their way here to Israel to be buried. 5-year-old Atan gained consciousness. He is still fighting for his life in the hospital in Italy. His aunt and other family members are surrounding him. So I'm asking you, please keep this family in your prayers. Italian police actually arrested 3 people from this cable company. The engineer and the manager and another one, and they I think are going to be charged for manslaughter. There were some things that was not right with the emergency brakes, and that's why this horrible accidents happened, and 14 people were killed, including 5 Israelis. And now this 5-year-old boy is without his mom and dad and brother and grandparents. Here in Israel, it feels like it has just been tragedy upon tragedy. It all started with 45 people being literally trampled to death for the La Boma festival, where a lot of ultra-Orthodox was coming together to celebrate like always. And they were caught in this narrow alleyway. And when they couldn't get out, there was like a stampede, and 45 people, including several children, were crushed to death. We barely survived from all of that before we had another incident in a synagogue where there was some of the places where people were sitting. It fell, it literally crushed down. It was under constructions. It was actually not ready for use, and 2 people died, including a 12-year-old boy. Then we had the whole Gaza war with all of the rockets pounding in. More than 4,000 rockets pounding in from Gaza, killing many Israelis. We have had all the lynching attacks, the stabbing, the shooting, the terror attacks. And then now we have an Israeli family in Italy, 5 members of the same family being killed in this tragic cable car accident. And they are now on their way to be buried here in Israel. So it's been very difficult. If I look tired, I'm tired. I'm hurting in my heart, I'm hurting in my soul for the Jewish people who have all of these accidents, but at the same time they have to endure all of these rockets flying in, and the world is coming against Israel, and you are screaming death to the Jews, and you are screaming for the destructions of the Jewish state, and Jewish people are being attacked in France and England and London, in Los Angeles and in New York just for being Jewish. The hate towards the Jewish people are literally just burning all over the world. And instead of governments, are standing with Israel, they are now pouring hundreds and millions of dollars into Gaza, rebuilding Gaza, when in fact there wouldn't be anything to rebuild if it wasn't because these terrorists were firing rockets into Israel. And the hundreds of millions of dollars they could use for infrastructure, for schools, for hospitals, they have used to build bunkers all over the Gaza Strip and tunnels. They are using that because it's more important for them to kill the Jewish children than it is to take care of their own children and make life good in Gaza. So there's a lot going on. There's a lot that has come against Israel and the Jewish people. But today we are mourning as 5 caskets are coming home on the plane from Italy, and a 5-year-old boy is left alone in a hospital, and he lost his whole family. So thank you for standing with Israel for such a time as this, and thank you for praying for the Jewish people. Bye.